Disclaimer. If you happen to be riding down I-64 or I-57 and you get a flat tire, you're better off just riding on the rim until you get to the next city. Don't stop here. Okay, I'm just kidding. The locals here will definitely help you replace your tire. There's a giant tire manufacturer located in town, and it's basically their specialty. Just make sure to watch your back while they're working on replacing your tire. How's it going, YouTube? If you enjoy my videos, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload new and amazing content just like this video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you Mount Vernon, Illinois. If you're unfamiliar with my videos, I do speed up my videos in order to show more in a less amount of time. Located at the junction of I-64 and I-57, Mount Vernon is 87 miles west of Evansville, 80 miles east of St. Louis, and 275 miles south of Chicago. If you live in one of those metro areas and ever take a road trip, you're likely to bypass Mount Vernon on the interstate. Now, as I do with all of the cities that I make videos on, I'm going to give you the cold hard facts on Mount Vernon. If this is your hometown, get ready because you're probably not going to like it. Mount Vernon hit its peak population in 1980 at 17,000 people. Today, the town is home to just under 15,000. The median household income here is $38,000 per year, with nearly 25% of its residents living in poverty. Only 20% of adults 25 and older hold at least a bachelor's degree. Some of those numbers aren't too bad, you're thinking, but here's the dagger. Mount Vernon has an extremely high violent crime rate for a rural town at 1,529 for every 100,000 people. That's way worse than Chicago's rate, and Chicago is a city that's been known for crime. It's also higher than other cities that are known for crime, such as New Orleans and Oakland. Cleveland's violent crime rate is just a little bit higher than Mount Vernon's. Property crime here is also extremely high at 5,183 for every 100,000, and as you can imagine, drug usage is a problem here too, as it is across many cities throughout the rural Midwest. And now I'm sure that there will be people in the comments that say not everyone from Mount Vernon is a criminal and that you've probably met some of the nicest people in your life in Mount Vernon, because that's what people from every town say in this country, and I'm sure that you're making accurate claims. I'm not going to dispute that. There's nice people everywhere, and I'm sure Mount Vernon is full of them. But you can't dispute the crime stats, guys. The average home price in Mount Vernon in 2020 is just under $95,000. That's way below the Illinois average of $205,000 and the US average of $226,000. Cheap home prices are common among cities and areas that are losing population and facing economic struggle. Only a handful of available homes in Mount Vernon for sale are move-in ready. Many of the properties for sale in this town are in need of TLC. Mount Vernon does have a few major employers in town. However, there has been no economic growth here in quite some time, as outside employers don't want to set up shop here. It's not all the town's fault though, it's mostly the state of Illinois' fault, and Mount Vernon is just one of a dozen other Illinois cities and towns that struggle economically because of the state's high taxes. Illinois has the second highest property tax rates in the country. In Mount Vernon, the property taxes are nearly at 8%, while the US average is 4%. I'm not saying that this will happen to Mount Vernon, as I can't predict the future obviously, but a continuation of population loss will be even more destructive to not only Mount Vernon, but all of Jefferson County and southern Illinois. People provide tax dollars for local governments to function. We've already seen cities further south of here lose their hospitals because they didn't have the population base to support it. Hospitals provide not only healthcare but good jobs too. Mount Vernon, along with other small towns and cities that are losing population, need to find ways to bring more people in and stop people from leaving. And unfortunately in the state of Illinois, that is really hard to do because of the state-issued tax rates. I really do feel bad for not only Mount Vernon but all towns in Illinois that have to deal with those economic conditions. And as I cut through this parking lot here, I'll drive around downtown for a bit. Based off of Google Street View, it looks like US Bank used to lease out of the office building that you see on the left. Currently, it appears to be empty. Past that is the Jefferson County Courthouse. There's also a decent amount of storefronts that look to be occupied throughout the few blocks of downtown, so that's good to see. History-wise, Mount Vernon was named for George Washington's plantation, Mount Vernon, and that was named after Edward Vernon, who was a British naval hero. The Illinois Supreme Court was located here from 1856 to 1896, and Abraham Lincoln once argued and won a tax case here in 1859. In 1888, a tornado ripped apart 500 or so buildings, but the city was able to quickly rebuild. Around the World War II era, Mount Vernon produced railroad cars. Recreation-wise, Rend Lake is a large reservoir south of town which is a great place to go drink beer, fish, ride jet skis, and anything else redneck that would suit your fancy. Mount Vernon isn't the worst town in Illinois, but it does have some work to do. A violent crime rate of just over 1,500 for every 100,000 residents isn't something to ignore, and it is in Illinois, the state that holds the second highest property taxes in the country. That's about it for this video. If you enjoy, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload new and amazing content just like this video. We'll see you next time. Peace!